Welcome to A Century of Cinema. Today I will be exploring my favourite films of 1973. Apropos of nothing, the year I was born. First up, Save the Tiger. Stars Jack Lemmon as Harry Stoner, who owns a clothing company, which is barely hanging on, and he is considering burning down a warehouse for the insurance. Harry is at the end of his rope. He is both nostalgic and haunted by the past, and feels total contempt for the modern world. The world's going to hell. He has to become a criminal to keep his business afloat, and his marriage is floundering. He finds temporary solace in the arms of a young hitchhiker named Myra, but fleeting gratification has no effect on the bigger issue Harry faces. This is one of the great Jack Lemmon performances, garnering him his second Oscar, making him the first to win both Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor, which he did earlier for Mr. Roberts. Ably directed by John G. Avildsen, with an intelligent screenplay by author Steve Shagan, and quite beautifully shot by James Crabb. Save the Tiger is quite a depressing piece of work, but it is worth watching if only for the brilliant work of Jack Lemmon, who is unmatched at delivering distraught or melancholy dialogue with just the right mix of emotional resonance and wry humour, and is just as effective breaking down, lashing out, or looking in. So Jack Lemmon in Save the Tiger is my choice for Best Actor of 1973.
Quarterbacks get knocked down, nurses get knocked up, somebody invented the edge, so everybody misses.
Shurayuki Hime, Lady Snowblood, stars Keiji Mako as Yuki, who has since birth been imbued with her mother's memories and thirst for revenge against those who killed her husband and son. She is trained to be a great warrior and proceeds to hunt down her prey. This is a truly beautiful movie. Kaji is impossible to take your eyes off of. Her ice-cold beauty and intensity are nothing short of preternatural, coupled with the fact that she also sings the beautiful theme song, Shuro no Hana, Flower of Carnage. Kaji Mako is what hooks you and keeps you hooked till the very end. And while you're dangling on that hook, you will also be treated to some stunning visuals, apart from the breathtaking Kaji Mako. The cinematography of Tamura Masaki takes the already gorgeous scenery and gives it an ethereal, magical quality. It is a compelling tale of vengeance, with sights and sounds that lavish a bounty of gifts to the senses, many of which emanating from the face and voice of Kaji Mako. It is one of my favourite movies of 1973, and anyone who has ever seen Kill Bill can attest that Quentin Tarantino, for one, dug the hell out of it too, because there was a lot that was inspired by Lady Snowblood in there, including that beautiful theme song. George Roy Hill's The Sting, written by David S. Ward, reunites Bush and Sundance, Paul Newman and Robert Redford, for the ultimate con movie. It is set in the 1930s, with immaculate costumes by the great Edith Head, garnering her 8th and final Oscar, an equally impressive production design, more Oscars for Henry Bumstead and James W. Payne. Redford plays grifter Johnny Hooker, whose partner and mentor is killed by the goons of crime boss Doyle Lonergan, Robert Shaw. Hooker then seeks out Henry Gondorff, Newman, to get revenge on Lonergan the only way he knows how, a con, the big con, which Gondorff was once known to excel at. An elaborate plan is concocted to swindle Lonergan out of $500,000. Redford and especially Newman are spot on as the likeable con artists, and there's some great supporting work from Shaw as Lonergan, Charles Durning in one of his most unlikable roles as corrupt cop Snyder, Eileen Brennan as the streetwise Billy, and one of my favourite journeyman actors, Ray Walston as JJ. But the real star here is David S. Ward's screenplay. Snappy, funny, and intricate as hell, its DNA is in every con/heist movie or TV show to follow. It won one of the Sting's 7 Oscars out of 10 nominations, also winning for picture and director, as well as for adapted score utilising incredibly apt Scott Joplin tunes, most famously The Entertainer. And for me, Ward's script is also a winner. I've decided to make 1973 the year where I officially split the screenplay superlative into original and adapted, and David S. Ward is my choice for Best Original Screenplay.
Glad to meet you, kid. You're a real horse's ass.
Luther said I could learn something from you. I already know how to drink.
Finally, it's William Friedkin's The Exorcist. Based on William Peter Blatty's novel, it is still widely regarded as the greatest horror film of all time, and required viewing for any film buff. So practically anyone watching this would probably know the movie like the back of their crucifix. But quite simply, Ellen Burstyn plays actress Chris MacNeil, whose daughter Regan, Linda Blair, gets possessed by a demon. She approaches priest/psychologist Father Karras, Jason Miller, to inquire about exorcism. After taking a look at her himself, he enlists help from exorcism expert Father Merrin, Max von Sydow, and all hell breaks loose. This is just an all-round exceptional movie. Brilliant direction by Friedkin, his best by a mile, in my opinion, building the tension and escalating the horror expertly. A perfectly adapted screenplay by author Blatty himself, which leans heavily on the religious aspects, but manages to make it palatable for a secular audience, or even, say, a dyed-in-the-wool atheist. Owen Roizman's brilliantly atmospheric cinematography, at its best in the climactic exorcism scenes, also helps elevate The Exorcist to more than your standard horror movie. The same can be said for the excellent ensemble of actors, particularly the main four, Burstyn, Miller, Blair, and von Sydow. Ellen Burstyn, Oscar-nominated for her role as Chris, delivers one of her most powerful performances here as the despairing mother, who must eventually accept the possibility of demonic possession, creating a flawed yet entirely relatable and sympathetic character who wants nothing more than for her daughter to be okay.
It just so happens that somebody very close to me is probably possessed and needs an exorcist. Father Karras is my little girl.
Jason Miller as Father Karras, another Oscar nominee, in his first film role by the way, delivers tremendous sensitivity and stoic power in an extremely nuanced way, and allows himself to become overwhelmed when called for. Linda Blair, with an assist from Mercedes McCambridge as the voice of the demon, makes one hell of a practically first impression as Regan, asked to pull off some things as a 13-14-year-old which a full-grown actor would struggle with a great deal. Also Oscar-nominated as supporting actress, the film was essentially on her shoulders, since her believability as a possessed child is paramount, and she does not disappoint. And Max von Sydow, the only one to miss out on a nomination, aged up a bit here as Father Merrin. Von Sydow was only in his mid-40s at the time, adds such gravitas and also another dimension. Until Merrin arrives, all seems lost, but his very presence brings a much-needed tinge of hope, such as von Sydow's presence and quiet strength. The Exorcist was nominated for 10 Oscars, including Best Director and Picture, and won for Sound and Adapted Screenplay. I concur. William Peter Blatty gets my Best Adapted Screenplay nod. But I also chose Ellen Burstyn for Best Actress, Best Director for William Friedkin, and The Exorcist is easily my best picture of 1973. Join me next time on A Century of Cinema, when I will be discussing my favourite films of 1974. Now go watch a movie. The power of Christ compels you.